So while I was busy planning out my October, writing the next episode for the next Super Debate series, editing the script for the next Sonic vs. Flash animation, finishing the video for the next rap battle, one of my friends hit me up and told me to make a video about this Ranting For Vengeance guy. Now, I knew who Ranting For Vengeance was, but I didn't have really any knowledge of the things he was saying or doing. All I knew is that he made comic book videos that I knew people weren't the most fond of. Now, if you don't know who Ranting For Vengeance is, he's a comic book YouTuber that reviews comic book media. And this guy hates pretty much everything. This guy hates pretty much everything. In fact, he hates so much, you would think he's a member of the Legion of Doom. You would think Lex Luthor and Reverse Flash himself recruited him. I mean, just look at these titles. DC Comics are becoming woke and cringe. The Batman 2 is going to be a woke disaster. Avengers Doomsday will be a woke disaster. Superman is woke and the worst movie ever made. This guy thinks everything's welcome. Now, I just want to say before I continue on with this video, please do not spread hate to Ranting For Vengeance. Although I don't like him or his videos, spreading hate doesn't solve anything, and this video is mostly strictly for entertainment purposes. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over one of his videos. The video I decided to talk about is his video on the Wolverine video game that's set to release next year, which is a game I'm actually very excited for.
So we finally have a trailer for Insomniac's long-awaited Wolverine game, and as a big fan of the character of Wolverine, it does look good to an extent.
Already starting off with a positive outlook, so let's see what he's got.
Because throughout all of these trailers and posts, people are leaving out one crucial detail.
And by people, you mean just you, right? Because I don't think there's a single person complaining about this game.
I'm just gonna tell it to you straight. This game is confirmed as feminist garbage.
Feminist garbage? Really? Please tell me in what way is the Wolverine game feminist. And we've already jumped the shark, so let's hear what he has to say about this game, because apparently the new Wolverine game is feminist garbage.
When I say I'm a Wolverine fan, I'm not a fan of the Fox X-Men Hugh Jackman Wolverine. That is just not the character. I'm not a fan of the modern comic Wolverine. That is nothing like the character. I'm a fan of the real Wolverine from Chris Claremont's full Uncanny X-Men, ranging from the 70s all the way up to the early 90s.
I think we can all agree that was Wolverine's best run. Proceed.
Claremont created a character that was this anti-hero that could only really be found if you were reading underground comics or manga. Wolverine didn't wear a cape. He wasn't some pacifist boy scout. He was like a mix of Batman and Daredevil, where at his minimum, he was a badass character in the team of the X-Men all the way through the 70s, 80s, and 90s.
Although I do agree Wolverine was this tough, like, macho type character, he was still a very complex character that had layers to him. That wasn't the only thing a part of his personality. Also, Wolverine is nothing like Batman or Daredevil in any way. Neither in personality and especially not morally.
Creating the Wolverine that's always smoking a cigarette, drinking, dealing with a femme fatale in some dark city. That is the character of Wolverine. He's like a hard-boiled detective that's darker than even Daredevil. By no means is he some forgettable background character like in every brand new comic, or Hugh Jackman in a wife beater running around screaming.
Most comics when Wolverine is quote-unquote forgettable is when they're focusing on the other X-Men. Because Marvel knows, and the writers of the X-Men comics know that Wolverine is the most popular member of the X-Men. So they want to spend more time on the other characters and their personalities, not just Wolverine. Nobody would find the Justice League entertaining if they spent only their focus on Superman and Batman, and treated the other characters as if they didn't even exist at all.
But that takes me to the Wolverine game, which I'm not really going to be all negative about and say that it looks like total garbage, because it doesn't. As a Wolverine fan, you can't resist that the game is set in Tokyo and Madripoor, two locations that are taken straight from the great comics of Wolverine. And that seems to be the case with this game. There's a lot of stuff taken straight from the comics.
So, what's the problem then? This is a 7-minute video and we're 2 minutes in and I've only heard nothing but positive things about this game.
Like the fact that you have the brown and tan suit and the patch suit. The patch suit is in the game, and the Asian country Madripoor where Wolverine stayed with all these seedy bars and gangs. So I will have to give massive respect to the game for doing that.
So I'm expecting like a huge 180 shift from what he's going on about, because I've heard nothing but positive things about this game.
And as you can see from the trailers, it does look great. Wolverine riding a motorcycle with Arkham style stealth and combat. And that is one of the problems with this game. It just looks like God of War mixed with Arkham and Spider-Man.
And that's a problem. Why? You just named 3 all-star gaming franchises. I don't see the issue with that. Also, of course he's gonna play someone like Spider-Man because Insomniac's developing it, so I don't get what you're talking about. He then proceeds to complain about how Insomniac is woke, that this quote-unquote wokeness ruined Spider-Man Miles Morales and Spider-Man 2, which is just not true.
But more importantly, this is Insomniac we're dealing with. The people who gave us Spider-Man Miles Morales and Spider-Man 2. I got Spider-Man 2 because I was a really big fan of Spider-Man at the time and wanted a good Spider-Man game that stayed faithful to the character. And I thought I was going to get that. But what did I get instead? A big load of gay black people. Hey, do you want to play as Miles Morales, the fake Spider-Man, going around at festivals with other people of color? And do you also want to play as his deaf girlfriend for some reason?
You're acting like they're shoving a message down your throat, but they don't do that. Also, it's a modern settings, so of course they're gonna add certain things that make the game realistic, even if you don't agree with the message. I wouldn't say it's that big of a deal to the point where you have to make a video about it. The messages don't bother me, but if it's a message I don't agree with specifically, I just tend to ignore it.
All of the female characters are feminist bitches, like Mary Jane Watson in Spider-Man 2. So how is that gonna mix? Wolverine, a character who is always dealing with femme fatales, like a New War detective, is instead gonna get punched in the nuts by some bitch. And you can already see some of this from the leaks.
Leaks have a history of being changed for production or not being real, so we can't say if the leaks are going to be actual content in the game or not.
But how do I say this without getting myself in trouble? Using the internet, let's just say I borrowed a little sneak peek of Wolverine a few months ago.
You just told on yourself. The cops are knocking on your door now.
You don't just play as Wolverine in this game, you also have to play as Jean Grey in these 4 sections that go on for way too long.
And again, how is that a complaint? Jean Grey is a big part of the X-Men comics, is a big part of Wolverine's character. How in any way is that woke or feminist just because you're playing as a female protagonist? My guess is that he hated playing the missions so much that he thought it was feminist, which, look, you don't have to like the missions, but just labeling as something without actually giving evidence is just stupid. Also, knowing that it's Wolverine, Jean Grey is probably not going to be the only X-Men character we play as. So, again, we have to give it time.
Yeah, nobody's telling you that. And Jean Grey is not a feminist character. But knowing Insomniac, they're going to make her insufferable.
I know why he's saying this. He's still wrong, don't get me wrong. But I think I have a reason why he's saying this. It's because they made MJ that way. To a certain extent. But that doesn't mean Insomniac's gonna make Jean Grey a feminist girl like you think they will. You're going off of unrealistic expectations. Honestly, we're 5 minutes in and I've heard nothing of value.
And also, the game is called Wolverine. Why am I playing as 2 different characters?
You think the game's gonna sell well if it's just Wolverine and friends or Wolverine and Jean Grey? No, they're gonna market it as a Wolverine game because Wolverine is the main character and the main focus of the game. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know why he made this video.
Oh, I'll tell you from first-hand experience. The Logan in this game is weak and gay and not at all masculine.
What? In what way is he gay or non-masculine? Because he's struggling? Do you want Wolverine to win every single fight that he's in? If he thinks Wolverine is weak and gay, he's gonna have a field day watching Invincible.
But I am warning you that this game is gonna be feminist and it is gonna be woke.
Again, nothing in this video proves that the game's gonna be feminist or woke. They're not shoving a message down their throats. They're just having us play a female character.
I'm just too big a fan of the character to give up an opportunity to play an actual Wolverine game.
So you did all this complaining just to say that you're still gonna play the game. What was the point of this video again?
But this game is 100% without a doubt political. And not even political, it's just shit. Who wants to play as Jean Grey?
Well, judging on the comments on this video that you posted and the amount of people saying that you were wrong, I'd say a lot of people.
There's tons of different characters you could have played as. Maybe Kitty Pryde, like, you know, the classic Chris Claremont run.
While I do think they should focus on more unknown characters like Kitty Pryde, it doesn't significantly bother me that they chose Jean Grey.
And that's just my last point. We can't get a proper Wolverine game where he looks and acts badass and masculine like the character. Instead, there has to be a tacked on chunk of wokeness and feminism. And no real fan of the comics and the character of Wolverine actually wants this.
Again, with the amount of people saying that you were incorrect about the inclusion of Jean Grey, I'd say a lot of people would want that.
So that was just a quick video. It's kind of annoying that we have to put up with feminism and wokeness. You can't just get a normal game. That sounds like I'm saying the same thing over and over.
Because you are.
So if you want to see more videos like this or videos about classic comics, then do let me know and maybe consider subscribing. And if you're one of the retards out there who advocates for this feminist trash, then go complain to your boyfriend.
What? Yeah, so I don't know what he was waffling on about. That video was just pretty much him repeating the same things over and over again. He didn't really prove that anything in the game was feminist or woke. He just said that they had to play the female character, which I have no problem with. I think Jean Grey is very cool. I think she's a very interesting character, so I don't really see what the issue is with that. Maybe he just doesn't like Jean Grey. That probably is what it is. I'm not gonna make the claim he's misogynist or sexist. I think that's a bit of a drag. I just think he dislikes Jean Grey to the point where he thinks the game's woke. Maybe he thinks Jean Grey is a feminist woke character. I don't know. Anyways, I'm actually very excited for this game. I think the game looks very cool. I like the Tokyo setting. It kind of reminds me of the Wolverine movie from 2013, which I thought was a very underrated film. You know what's one mission I do want in the game? You already know. Insomniac, give us what the people want. Make one of the bosses the Incredible Hulk. We need that. That's all I ask for. That was an interesting video. Again, no hate to Ranting For Vengeance. This is mostly just jokes. Again, don't spread hate to Ranting For Vengeance. This video is just strictly jokes and it's for entertainment. Although I did mean the things I said, this video is strictly just for jokes and it's not meant to be taken seriously. Ranting For Vengeance, if you're watching this video, which you might actually be, just because you hate something doesn't mean it's woke or feminist. But yeah, that's all I have for today. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video with your friends and family members. Follow me on all my other social medias. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.